Stop everything because what just happened on the fastest ice in the world just rewrote American speed skating history forever. Jordan Stolz has officially ended a 20-year Olympic drought, and he did it on the biggest stage imaginable. On Saturday, February 14, 2026, Valentine's Day in Milan, this was not about romance for Team USA, this was about redemption. Exactly 20 years earlier, on February 13, 2006, Joey Cheek stood on the podium in Torino, Italy as the last American man to capture Olympic gold in the 500 meters. For 2 full decades, the most explosive and unforgiving sprint in speed skating was controlled by the Dutch, the Koreans, and the Chinese. Until now, when Jordan Stolz stepped onto the ice for the 500-meter final, the pressure was crushing. He had already claimed gold in the 1,000 meters on Wednesday, smashing the Olympic record in dominant fashion. But the 500 meters is different. It is a brutal 34-second drag race, where one tiny slip or a fraction of hesitation at the start does not just cost you a medal, it ends your chances completely. When the gun fired, the 21-year-old from Wisconsin did not simply skate, he detonated. He did not just win the race, he made history. Stolz became the first American man since Eric Heiden to win both the 500 meters and the 1,000 meters at the same Olympic Games. 2 races, 2 gold medals in Milan. And the entire world is now realizing we are not just watching a great athlete, we are witnessing a generational phenomenon. To understand why this victory stunned the sport, you have to understand the Stolz paradox. Jordan is built like a powerhouse designed for the 1,000 and 1,500 meters, where his enormous endurance allows him to overwhelm opponents in the closing lap. The 500 meters has never been considered his strongest event, because his first 100 meters off the line have historically been his weak spot. In a race decided by hundredths of a second, that weakness can be fatal. During this season's World Cup circuit, he won only around 56% of his 500-meter starts. He was regularly outlaunched by Poland's Damian Jerk and Dutch prodigy Jenning de Boo, who were consistently 0.2 of a second faster at the opening split. That margin in the 500 meters feels massive, but in Milan everything changed. Stolz lined up in Heat 13 next to his biggest rival Jenning de Boo. When the pistol cracked, he did not fall behind, he matched him stride for stride, posting a 9.45-second opening 100 meters, the fastest start of his career. It was a personal best at the most important moment imaginable. Then came the turn. At nearly 40 miles per hour, most skaters battle the pull of centrifugal force in the corner. Stolz has a rare ability to stay lower than anyone else on the ice, almost floating like a shadow wrapped in a speed suit, gliding on a blade only millimeters wide. He carried so much velocity through the transition that by the time he entered the final straight, the Dutch coaches already knew what was coming. He crossed the finish line in 34.12 seconds. It was not a world record, but on sea-level ice in Milan, it was a powerful statement. He took the event many believed was his vulnerability and transformed it into a golden pathway to history. This 500-meter triumph did not appear out of nowhere. It was fueled by what he unleashed 3 days earlier. On Wednesday, February 11th, Stolz entered the 1,000 meters as the world record holder. The Olympics, however, are notorious for crushing expectations under the weight of nerves. He ignored that pressure completely. He skated 1 minute 6.28 seconds, obliterating a 24-year-old Olympic record that had been set before he was born. His margin of victory was half a second, which in speed skating terms feels like an eternity. It was the largest Olympic 1,000-meter win since 1984. That performance shifted the entire atmosphere inside the Milan arena and sent a clear message that the era of Dutch sprint dominance was no longer untouchable. After winning his first gold, Stolz admitted he felt relief. The burden was gone. That relief transformed into dangerous confidence heading into the 500 meters. While his rivals analyzed every detail and worried about their start, Stolz remained composed. He understood that even if he was not the quickest starter, he was the fastest skater overall. He carried the momentum from the 1,000 meters and imposed his will on the field in the 500. By completing the sprint double, he placed himself among the legends of the sport. And consider who he had to defeat. Jenning de Boo is the golden prospect of Dutch skating, backed by one of the most powerful national programs in the world. He defeated Stolz at the 2025 World Championships and looked capable of spoiling the American charge. Damian Jerk of Poland had been the most consistent 500-meter competitor all season. Yet Stolz possesses something rare, a quiet killer instinct. He does not trash talk and he does not chase attention. He grew up skating on a frozen pond behind his house in Kewaskum, Wisconsin, because he preferred that to driving to an indoor rink. The harsh Midwestern winters shaped his mentality. At the start line in Milan, he never glanced at de Boo once he was locked into his own zone. While the Dutch program operates with massive funding and advanced technology, Stolz works with a tight circle and an obsession with detail. He sharpens his own blade, studies ice conditions like a scientist, and fine-tunes the rocker of his skates, knowing that at 40 miles per hour, a millimeter of steel can separate gold from 4th place. That discipline paid off as he defeated de Boo by 0.12 seconds a clear and commanding margin in a 500-meter sprint. His journey began far from elite academies. His father Gerald cleared snow off the family pond, so Jordan could train for hours alone under dark winter skis, listening only to the sound of steel slicing ice. That is where he developed his unique feel for the surface. Many skaters fight the ice, but Jordan reads it. He later gained mentorship from Shani Davis, the two-time Olympic champion, who recognized a similar work ethic. Davis helped him master the straightaways and generate speed efficiently without wasting energy. You can see that influence in Jordan's smooth arm carriage and aerodynamic posture even when exhaustion sets in. Now the conversation turns to something almost unthinkable: a sweep. Stolz has already secured gold in the 1,500 meters, but he still has the 1,500 meters and the mass start ahead. The 1,500 on February 19th might actually be his strongest event, because it perfectly blends endurance and explosive speed. If he wins it, he will claim 3 individual gold medals, something no American man has achieved at a single Winter Games since Eric Heiden in 1980, while Bonnie Blair accomplished the feat in 1994 on the women's side. Then comes the unpredictable mass start on February 21st, a chaotic pack race that demands tactical intelligence and composure. Stolz only recently added it to his schedule, yet he has already proven he can handle the disorder. If he captures 4 gold medals, he will not simply be the star of Milan, he will define this generation of speed skating. But beyond medals, this moment means something deeper. On February 14, 2026, Jordan Stolz revived American relevance in a sport that had drifted away from the spotlight. He ended a 20-year wait in the 500 meters, shattered records, and did it all with calm humility. He showed that greatness does not require a massive system or endless resources. Sometimes it begins with a frozen pond, a pair of skates, and relentless self-belief. Jordan Stolz did more than win a race in Milan, he restored a legacy. The fastest man on ice is no longer overseas, he is from Wisconsin. The sprint is finished, the gold belongs to the United States, and the Wisconsin wonder is only getting started. Milan is watching, and the 1,500 meters are next. Jordan Stolz is ready to soar.